Messaged him saying, "Sorry, dude, just checking if you're jumping in this interview or if it's just me." He said, "Sorry, I'm at Oppenheimer."
Oh well.
All righty,
It's amazing.
just the two of us.
Welcome to Nightbreed, man. I interviewed you, I'm pretty sure, back in 2021, around when the split with Orpheus Omega came out. Just
Ah, right on. God,
yeah.
that whole period is such a blur.
Yeah, it was a telephone call back then, but yeah, now
Ah,
we've moved on. We've got cameras and everything.
yeah. Look
Yeah.
at us.
So obviously, you got stuff coming out which we'll get to, but
Mhm.
what was going on, between then and now? You guys have played a bunch of shows, I'm guessing, yeah?
We, I don't know if we've even played enough shows to to qualify as a bunch.
Okay.
As
Yeah.
if that's the metric we're using. We've kind of been quiet on the gigging front, with a few notable exceptions being the Orpheus split EP tour,
Hmm.
and some dates with Valhalor. But aside from that, we've kind of kept our heads down, focusing on writing and recording this album,
Hmm.
and then now releasing it.
Yeah, cool. Um, so yeah, I read that you raised $6,000 during a 24-hour charity live stream. Tell us about that.
Yes,
Like, were you awake for 24 hours? Like,
yes, that was the shtick, that was the rub. So we needed to, we got in touch with a crew to help us shoot and produce our next music video. Usually we do all of that in house, but it's very stressful, and it's you can only make something so good when doing it all yourself.
yeah,
And I write and direct these things, and I wanted to ideally be able to make something bigger and better than we've done before, with the help of talented individuals who we can delegate to and say, we need the shot to, like, this is what we need. This is the framing. What do you see that you can bring to the table? And so we had people who had expertise with lighting and all that. But to get there, we needed a budget. We needed to pay all these people for their time.
mm,
And so we got in touch with a crew, and they gave us a kind of rough quote, that being around $5,000. We need at least $5,000 to make this thing, even remotely worth the effort. And so we thought, oh, okay, like, we're all working full time, but we're not exactly flush. So we'll put as much money as we can in. We'll make this thing work if we have to, but if we can find any way to raise some money for this thing, what can we do? And so we started spitballing ideas, and it was Anthony or Ethan suggested doing a 24-hour live stream thing, to raise some funds, play a live set, and do a bunch of other wacky shit on the stream. And so we went, okay, let's do that. That'll at least be fun. If nothing else, that'll be a really good. We'll have some really good laughs.
mm.
We'll probably get a few $100 to put towards this video. It's a few $100 out of pocket. We don't have to be so great. But god damn, dude, it was I think up to that point we'd all been, we'd recorded the album and we were getting ready to release it, but we were still kind of all experiencing the emotional hangover of COVID and lockdowns and all of that, and feeling a little bit at sea, just in ourselves and in our sense of, like, is this triple kill thing, like, still worth it? Like, do people is this still something that people are interested in, or are we just doing this to amuse ourselves? That's fine if that is the case, but we'd like to know. And that 24 hours was a vital reminder of the enthusiasm and generosity that we are surrounded by, in terms of our friends and family, but also fans, the people who apparently like this triple kill thing, and believe in it enough to really, like, give us something tangible in real, a sizable sum of money. Some people donated, I'm talking thousands of dollars from, like, a handful of people. In some cases, it was nuts. And by the end of the 24 hours, we'd not only reached the $5,000 goal, we'd exceeded it to just under 6,500. Oh no, excuse me, 6,500 on the dot, because at the very last minute, someone was like, let's make that a nice round number, and donate like $100 or something to jump us up to 6.5. Nuts.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool, man. And then of course, I gotta pronounce this right. The Shy Hulud, the
Yes.
sandworm of Arrakis, you
Hmm.
know. Yeah, how did that video come together? I mean, I've got so many questions, but I guess firstly, like how did you come up with that as an idea for a video?
Um, the idea for the Shai Hulud video went through so many different permutations.
Mm.
Um, Initially, my idea for that one was just as absurd and just as unrelated to the actual subject matter of the song.
Yeah.
It was going to be like a kind of Home Alone thing with Rodney, excuse me, where he makes friends with an alien crash lands in his backyard, and it's like a little alien that's obsessed with Garfield. Like it was very, very stupid, and he was going to be doing like this Home Alone thing with federal agents trying to capture the alien for experiments and stuff. But somewhere along the line, I abandoned that. I had this other separate idea that I had occurred to me over lockdown of wanting to do something with like the old school like 50s rock and roll aesthetic, but set to our music, set to heavy metal. And it was initially going to be an idea I'd kind of pinned to another song from the album. But then when kind of going like, all right, I need to actually pick an idea and write a script and run with it. It occurred to me that idea was far more feasible for one thing. So yeah, went with that, went down that route.
Yeah, that's cool. And you got Andy Gillian as a record exec. How'd you get him involved?
Well, we have been admirers of Andy's work and his output for a long time, and we actually approached him to write some orchestral arrangements for the album. The album is kind of bookended by two tracks that feature Andy Gillian's arrangements on it. And so that's really exciting. So when we had to write, I'd written this character. I think we immediately went, oh, let's ask Andy if he'd be interested in playing this role. He's previously mentioned to us, and we've heard through the grapevine that Andy's really likes what we do and likes our videos and wants to be involved in them in some way, shape, or form. So when we asked him, he was like, "Yep, sign me up. I'm done." I mean, he read the script, and his I think all he sent to me initially was "wow," and then "okay, I'm in."
Yeah, nice.
So okay. the minute or so between "okay, I'm in" and "wow," I was sweating.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Yeah, the hot dog glory hole is not to everyone's taste, I guess. But
his one proviso was that if he had to wrestle the hot dog man in the men's room, that we pay for his dry cleaning bill on the off chance that things get messy.
That's great. Yeah. So how pumped are you for June Part 2?
Oh, dude, ridiculously pumped.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, can't wait.
So yeah, Black and Dawn comes out August 25th, the album. Your last full length was 2018. How do you think Triple Kills changed this then, like your approach and songwriting and that kind of thing?
I think we've so the first album was written with a kind of youthful exuberance that came from just having just started the band, a year and a half beforehand, just put out the EP, the year before, and setting ourselves a very unrealistic deadline of getting an album out within a year of having the EP out. So the songs were written in a way that it was like really just like, all right, we need to fill this album with songs. Let's just get together and jam stuff out. Let's just send each other ideas, but let's get in a room and jam this stuff out and see what feels good. And that was a blast. And it made for some music that we're still really proud of, and that people connected with, and that's great. But in hindsight, I think it's the sort of thing that, hey, it would have been nice to have some more time and had a more concerted or considered approach to some of these parts. Instead of just bringing the riff back but slower. Why? Does the riff need to come back but slower for the sake of the story, or like all of this stuff? So this time we kind of, it was a byproduct of writing a lot during lockdown, and not even during lockdown necessarily. We wrote the bulk of this album after lockdowns and stuff had ended, but it had left us all so busy and so kind of scattered in terms of our schedules. We didn't have the time to meet up and jam the way we used to. we're older and busier, and life is, continues to happen to all of us. So it was a matter of just finding the time to write out on our own and send ideas across and stuff. But I think all of that time in lockdown and all that time for introspection and existential dread kind of made it so that when we did come to write this stuff and we went, all right, we still want to do the triple kill thing. This still means something to us. This is still fun. And we do still want it to have the element of, taking inspiration from media and art and, escapist fantasy stuff that we just love and that gives us so much joy. We still want to look to that for inspiration, but we kind of considered what about those properties was what felt vital to us or life affirming or exciting to us in the first place, and tried to make sure that each song captured that, nailed that down to some extent. And so in terms of, so I think we managed that lyrically, and in terms of the structure of the songs, I feel like each one tells a story. And that was something that we managed to do just kind of accidentally on some material on the first album. Here it's a far more concerted effort. We doubled down on the stuff that we really liked about the first album, and expanded on that.
Yeah, cool. And I read 23rd of August, you guys have the listening party for the album. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that came about literally in the last week or so. The venue, Tallboy and Moose, Anthony was reaching out to them looking for sponsors, because him and Chris run Anchor Entertainment, who are working in collaboration with Carl from Sarah Lise and Girth Sword Promotions to put on Questfest in Melbourne and Canberra. And Ant was reaching out to the venue looking for sponsors for Questfest, because it's a fantasy kind of thing, lends itself to drinking. And he got in touch with them, and they emailed back almost straight away saying, "Oh my God, triple kill! One of our dudes at the venue loves you guys," and sent us a picture of one of their employees wearing a t-shirt. And we were like, "Oh, cool." And they said, "Do you want to come around and meet with us? We'll work out something for Questfest, but we'd love to help you guys out. What are you guys working on at the moment?" We're like, "Oh, we got this album coming out." And they were like, "Do you want to do a listening party here? Free of charge. Just show up, bring your thing. Let's do it. Let's make it happen." And we're like, "Oh, amazing!" So that's really exciting.
Yeah, that's cool. I noticed your triple kill email ID thing has Sinus Coward at the bottom. Have you had any takers on that one?
No. I'm starting. I think we've had that in our email handle since probably 2017, if not 2018. And I'm starting to think that kind of aggression in your email handle does not a record deal make.
Hey, you never know, man. So away from triple kill for a little bit, what are you listening to lately?
Oh man, give me just a second.
Yeah.
The last few weeks, I haven't had the time to really sink my teeth into anything new. Oh, I lied. The new Skindred album just came out. That's been on my my regular rotation since then. Outside of that, new Voyager album was a lot of fun. A discovery from this year that I wasn't familiar with them previous to this year, but they put out an album this year that I really liked, was a band called Drain. You familiar with them?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Like a crossover hardcore thrash kind of thing. It's like 28 minutes of concentrated Madball and Pantera worship, at least to my ear. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. And also, you guys are supporting Night Flight Orchestra in Melbourne. Yeah, you're fans, I'm guessing.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We supported them weekend before last. Whenever that was. I believe that was the 5th of August. No, wait, no, excuse me. Whatever. I think it was late September. What is time? Yeah, we were thrilled, giddy with excitement when we got the email from Hardline asking if we wanted to be direct support for Night Flight. Because me and Anthony we already had tickets. Like, we were going as punters. Yeah, that was so exciting. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, cool. And did you get a chance to chat with the guys or anything?
So Mackie did, because Mackie is fearless. I think Ethan might have had a small like passing chat. Rodney got compliments from Bjorn Strid.
Yeah,
We were
nice.
backstage after we'd just come off stage, and Rodney was riding high on this all night. But he was, moving some stuff around, rolling some cables or whatever. Feels a pat on his back, and someone go, "Dude, that was amazing. That was fucking awesome. You sounded great." And Rodney turns around to be like, "Oh, thanks, man." And it's Bjorn Strid, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, bunch of." So yeah, but me and Anthony are far too awkward and just nervous, like gods.
Cool. So you got other shows coming up. Playing with Orpheus Omega, the Riffin tour and everything, and Quest Fest. So with Orpheus Omega, you guys obviously, you must be mates, right? You did the split together and played together.
We started out our working relationship just working with Chris on the first EP, or the first single. In fact, just working on recording Blades with him, and straight away we just vibed really well together. I mean, I don't know if I've met anyone who doesn't vibe with Chris on some level. He's a very welcoming personality, and he welcomed us with open arms, and we refused to fuck off.
That's cool. Yeah. And obviously, you got the album coming out and shows. What's the plan video wise? Like Shai Hulud seems like a big one to top. Have you got another idea for another video?
Well, this is the thing actually. At time of recording this interview, we've got another video coming out tomorrow. Cool. For another single that'll be on the 18th. So I don't know when this is coming out, but I imagine it'll be out.
Yeah.
For a track called Dust. Yes. And it's Shai Hulud was a hard one to follow up. Not only just it having a budget and the follow up not having a budget, but they're very different songs and came from a different place. I mentioned the kind of lockdown emotional hangover and the existential dread and all that, fun stuff. All of or a lot of that came out in this track that we're putting out tomorrow. But it was a kind of like a healthy way to work through those emotions. It was it's a song it's still inspired by fantastical art, escapist art. But it's kind of us working through that sense of like, oh God, I feel so bereft and like so at sea and so at a loss for reason to keep doing this, anything, in fact. But then just a vital reminder. I mean, we experienced it with the live stream. That vital reminder that, oh no, like this is worth doing. This matters to people outside of ourselves, but also we are so lucky to be doing this. That's kind of the journey of the song. And so we wanted the video to, I don't know, where Shai Hulud it could be something really wacky and silly and stuff. This we wanted the video to be a little more like subtle and understated and let the song kind of speak for itself a little bit, which is hard because I shoot and write the videos, and I'm as you're probably getting the impression, I'm a wordy motherfucker. I like a yarn. So trying to write something or produce a video for this song that is appropriately subtle and understated, and but also gets across the sense of gratitude that we want it to portray, was tricky to nail. But I'm really happy with what we've produced, especially considering it's a no budget, shoot in the shed kind of video. Ultimately we look at it like we were looking at the final cut today, and all of us felt like, yep, this is maybe this is just one for us. We this holds a great deal of meaning for us, and hopefully it'll resonate with other people. But if it doesn't, that's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they'll be into it, man. And by the time this reaches the internet, there's probably a clip of it right in front of my face.
Hey, beautiful.
Yeah, cool.
Mike Wazowski yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. Connor, thanks heaps for your time, man. And best of luck with the launch and everything, man. I'm sure it's going to be fun,
No worries, dude. Thanks for having us on again. Really appreciate it.
No, it's been good. Cheers. There you go.